Alright, Shalom, Shalom. Gonna give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. A double honors to the elders and apostles, the great millstone, to do rule and teach well. It's young brother here, Shemashwan Bun Yehoda. And right now on naturalnews.com, found this nifty little article. I'm gonna get into it real quick. It's not terribly long. I already got a precept in my head. And I'm gonna get into. So, meat heist. 5 suspects wanted for stealing boxes of frozen meat from a refrigerated truck in South Philly. All right, so this is going down in Philadelphia. It was going down in other places as well. I don't know which state it was, but out here in the States, there was another thing I saw on the news. I think the Apostle Tahar covered it. But you got people just, they pretty much broke into the store, I believe, and they just came in and walked out with food, They pretty much, robbed the joint. So, like Habakkuk, the second chapter talks about, and the end shall speak, and they'll tarry away for it, because, it will come, it shall not lie. So, these prophecies are not going to be found false. They're not going to be found to be untrue. Everything's going to happen. Unlike the other stuff that some of these, conspiracy theorists say, which a lot of stuff they say is true and correct in terms of secret societies, occult. Some stuff is straight up silly, which is why you don't even hear it anymore. Like the stuff about actually a lot of stuff they still talk about is the alien garbage. That's one. Other stuff that they say is the fucking lizard people. That's another one that's silly and it's not what it is, But and even all the rest of this stuff, they don't know what an Edomite is anyway, so they're really wrong about a lot of things. But certain things, they're spot on, and their analysis of government papers and the way they're able to find certain documents and how they have access to whistleblowers makes them a pretty good resource, But they're nothing compared to the scriptures, man. Like Isaiah 34:16 says, "Seek ye out the book of the Lord." All right, so the Philadelphia Police Department is currently searching for 5 men suspected of stealing boxes of frozen beef from a refrigerated truck on November 15th in South Philadelphia. The heist took place at around 12:30 a.m. on the 700 block of Patterson Avenue in South Philly East. The targeted tractor trailer was parked overnight at the warehouse lot for Jetro, a restaurant supply store. I think I've heard of that before, that place. The driver was in the cab at the time of the heist. When the driver felt his truck shake, he went out of the cab to investigate. The driver then saw 3 individuals at the rear of the trailer hauling boxes of frozen beef out to 2 other thieves sitting in a nearby parked car. The driver told police that one of the suspects said to him, "We're only taking a little." That had to be some jakes. Oh, God. Yeah. That's what he said. When I read it the first time, I kind of just read over it, but when you read it again, it's like, that's actually pretty funny. When I first read it, I was like, what the fuck? And when you read it again, it's like, what the fuck? The thief then allegedly motioned toward his hip, implying that he and possibly more of the thieves had firearms. The driver noted that the 5 suspects fled the scene in a silver Ford Explorer SUV. At least 15 boxes of beef were stolen, with the estimated value of $7,660. Some more slabs of beef spilled out of the truck and were left behind as the suspects were discovered by the truck driver and escaped in a rush. So, alright, so we can just go here and we can just go, this is just basic stuff, but, you got to bring it out over and over and over again, all right? It is what it is, all right? So, Matthew 24:12, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. All right, we know that when someone says something's heartwarming, it means that, like it's kind, it's pleasing, right? Like, I don't know, like you watch any of those movies, oh, that's a heartwarming scene, and it's a character, like, hugging another character or something, right? That's what it means, So when it's being cold, like you're cold-hearted, it means like you're kind of you're mean, you're not nice, and whatever. So this is 2 Corinthians 14, because this is what I like to always get into. This is one of my favorites. Definitely shall obtain mercy. Strengthen my memory. They eat bread. No, it's in the first couple. Uh, yeah, this is a book of Second Editors 14. We'll get to the point. Second Editors 14 and 16. For yet great evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. Right? So, self-explanatory. For look how much the world shall be weaker through age, so much more shall evils increase upon them that dwell therein. Right? So the earth has been weakened. Right? You got to think about things like the Industrial Revolution and things like that. Really, it all goes back to the Lord, weakening things, which really, before there was any Industrial Revolution, we as people, talking about us as people, Israel, right, we were weaker through age because, the sinful bodies, and then we, pretty much were weakened over time. Like it talks about second notice how, we were of greater stature back then, which is things that's going to come back when we get the spiritual new bodies, Lord willing, with that number. We'll be taller. We'll be taller. Everyone's going to be in their physical prime. Talks about that in second notice. The second chapter talked about a young man. The young man called Yahushua a young man, right? Because Yahushua is going to be aged back as well. Yahushua is going to be in his physical prime along with us. We're going to be in our physical prime. We're going to look young, young, strong. It's going to be beautiful. Personally, I obviously wouldn't age that far back. I'm not that old. I'll probably age back a little bit or look just about the same, which is, it is what it is. You can't control your age. You're as old as you are. So, and then you gotta think about the other scriptures that talk about how grapes, you need two men to carry the grapes, and now grapes are fucking tiny, and now the grapes, the grapes that you buy from the grocery store, most of them don't even got seeds. Like even like fruits, a lot of fruits don't even have the seeds, and it's just like, it's silly. It's silly. Because you're supposed to have the seeds, because then you can take that seed, you replant them, and you can have your own tree and stuff like that. But that's what they do, and they fucked around with it. They do, GMOs, genetic editing and all this stuff, and they breed certain fruits together, and they do some stuff with it, and they make it have no seeds, and it's fucking lame, dude. Verse 18. For time is left far away, and leasing is hard at hand, and leasing goes to taking up. Like you lease something, it's like taking up. It's hard at hand, for now haste the vision which thou hast seen. And that's what it is. So as time is going on, pretty much more evil is going to happen, until, leasing comes, which is also called the threshing in 2nd Ezra, the 4th chapter. And yeah, just to go talk about it again, to lease something means basically to take property, to control it and whatever. So, or it can also mean like grant property, but if you look at it, it'll tell you that the synonyms for, to lease something is a hire, grant, or, hire, like pretty much to take someone up, and that's what it is. They're going to be beamed up and essentially be taken up, I don't really, the word hire doesn't really sound like a good term, but they'll be leased or taken. They'll be taken up. Trend of cargo thefts not expect to end soon, and they won't, right? Because there's inflation. The government can't keep control of inflation, even though they say, "Oh, the economy's strongest as it's been in years." I mean, you can clearly see that that's not the case. I mean, stuff has even gone up at the local, Rite Aid that I go to, and it's not just that one; it's all Rite Aids. Like I used to buy pure protein bars. They were like $2.29, which is a pretty good deal for protein bars, considering that most protein bars, which I don't even eat that shit like that, it's really not good for you. It's like 500 milligrams of fucking salt, but I like to have it as a little treat before camp, because like sometimes like I don't have time to like get up and make a big old meal before I go teach. So I just buy some protein bars, a little treat. I buy like 2 of them, and sometimes I buy 3 of them. But I like to have it as like a little treat before camp. And I remember one time I went in there and now it's like 250. It's like 250 now. So they rose like 30 cents. And it's like, I can't buy this bullshit no more, man, because it's too expensive. At least with 229, you get two of them, and it's like, a pretty decent deal. But now you're like, you know, damn near $8 deep if you want to buy like three of them, which is like, what the fuck, you know? Still better than other places. Other places they sell shit like that for like $3-4. If you're on the road and you go to like a gas station or something, and you just want to buy like a protein bar or something just while you're on the road, fucking forget about it. You'll be paying like $5, and it'll be fucking some shitty one too, you know. Truck drivers all over the country, especially in large cities, are dealing with increasing cargo thefts. The increased danger to truck drivers has resulted in them arming themselves with tools to keep their high-pressed cargo safe, such as heavy-duty locks. There's $250,000 worth of meat in the back of these trucks, and that's $750,000 by the time they sell it. That's a lot of money, said trucker Mark Layton. In Philadelphia, at least 196 cargo thefts have been recorded by Philadelphia police since the year began. Last year, 242 cargo thefts were recorded. The heist in the frozen beef boxes in South Philly comes just a few weeks after 184 cases of crab clusters worth approximately $73,000 were sold from a truck in North Philadelphia. Oh man, you're an asshole. Number one, you guys shouldn't be selling that garbage. Number two, you're gonna rob that shit. You're an asshole, man. You shouldn't be eating that to begin with. You shouldn't even hold that in your hands. It's unclean food. Like the scripture says, folly set in great dignity. I think that's in Ecclesiastes. Man, I can't fucking stand this place. Right? The increase in cargo theft in the past few months, the trend isn't expected to end soon, as reported by some industry insiders. The latest data from CargoNet, a Jersey City, New Jersey-based data and information sharing corporation working to fight cargo theft, showed a 49% increase in recorded theft events in the third quarter of 2023 when compared to last year, and you can look at that related. Right, this is something that isn't new, as we all know. It's something that is new. We've been hearing about this stuff. I think you see when you go more, they talk about people basically, like these stores like well, I don't think they said righty exactly. They talk about Walmart starting to lock up a lot of things because people are just fucking stealing shit, which I can only imagine being a business owner and with dealing with food and people just walking your shit and steal shit. As we're in the final quarter of 2023, which, really, it's really everyone's fault, man. It's really the fault of the people for one stealing shit. Which, Jake is going to do what he got to do to survive, man. Jake is going to steal shit, But, secondly, they've always been, overpricing food, overpricing all the good stuff. So, it makes sense that people are stealing shit. But then it really goes back to the government, because the government isn't going to get a hold on inflation. They aren't going to, basically, which, what I heard a lot of economic guys kind of say is like they need to let the recession happen and then let the economy bounce back instead of trying to like do all these monetary maneuvers to try to like keep things up, because if you keep trying to keep these things up and you keep, I don't know, trying to like raise interest rates and stuff like that, you don't let things go down naturally and whatever, then pretty much it's just going to make a bigger fall, which is going to happen, which personally I don't think there's going to be an economic downturn, or like I don't think shit's going to pop off until probably before the next election. I think like around the next election they're probably gonna do something, and then then you're gonna have possibly Trump getting back in office, which I know the elders and apostles say he's Nero coming back, and maybe Trump will be the man put an end to things, to say, all right, you Israelites on these street corners, all right, you guys got to quit this, you guys got to stop, or they start coming up against us. I mean, they may not come and do it like that. I don't know, but they're gonna come against us one way or another. I don't know if they're gonna do it publicly, but we do know damn well they're gonna come with us with FEMA troops and stuff like that. That's what the scripture says. And that's in 2 13. There's be great insurrection upon the godly. Basically, these elites are gonna come against us with their forces. And then you gotta look at what's Revelation 2 and 10, stuff like that. Very serious stuff. As we enter the final quarter of 2023, there is no indication that cargo theft activity will slow in the domestic United States. We anticipate that strategic cargo theft will remain at unprecedented levels of activity throughout the quarter, the company said in a statement, and that's that. So the precept that I was thinking of, which I'm just going to mention it because I think reading an article and kind of getting those two precepts, I talked a little bit longer than I was supposed to, but basically the one I was going to get, I think it's 2 Ezra 6 and 22 or around there, but basically talking about how though evils, shall be upon the earth, they should think themselves to be though victuals shall be cheap upon earth, they shall think themselves to be in good case, then shall evils grow upon earth, right? And that's what's happening. What you could really say that started with the pandemic. Things are starting to open up again, and you can buy stuff again, and things are in plenty. Right? Evils still grow, and evils are still growing. You can still buy stuff now. It's still good. We're definitely not at pandemic levels. At pandemic levels, it just felt like they were rationing shit. You could only buy like one fucking pack of like meat. So like if you wanted some ground turkey or something, or some ground chicken or whatever, or some chicken or whatever, you can only get one pack. And I was like, man, this some bullshit. This some motherfucking bullshit. But now that things opening up, right? People should not be mindful of the scourges I could talk about in 2 Ezra, where I think is the 15th chapter. People aren't mindful of the scourges. No one's saying, all right, we got to turn back to the Lord, man. Like things are coming back. Like we got to stop this bullshit. Why don't we go down to that camp? I'm talking from the perspective of a Jake. Why don't we go down to them Israelite guys and try to learn something? And why don't we go start watching them Israelite guys? No one's thinking like that. No one's thinking like that. They just do their own bullshit until they fucking croak. All right, that's pretty much it. I don't want to talk too long. Shalom. That's pretty much it. Little one edified.